Senator Peters.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Well, Donald Trump and Elon Musk illegal dismantling of federal agencies will definitely harm the safety and financial security of American people. We've seen already, and we're hearing about their unlawful government actions related to USAID. But let's take a look at their next victim. They've already taken action on their next victim, which is the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, or CFPB. Conveniently, just as President Trump's top lieutenant and his mega donor, the man with incredible conflicts of interest, Elon Musk, he's about to launch a new payment system at his company X. And that company would have been subject to CFPB regulation. But now Trump has decided to dismantle that agency. I may also say the CFPB has also received hundreds of complaints about Musk, his other company, Tesla. Isn't that interesting? A man with massive conflicts, a man who has not been vetted, is now working to destroy an agency that would actually oversee his operations and operations that have received complaints because of the actions that he's taken. CFPB was created by Congress with bipartisan support and in the wake of the 2008 financial crisis. Its mission is to protect companies from Americans from scams and predatory companies. CFPB has improved American lives by capping credit card late fees, bank overdraft fees, reduced junk fees, has banned medical debt on credit reports. I could go on. But now President Trump and OMB Director Vogt are illegally destroying the agency. And let's be clear, this is an agency that has saved American taxpayers $21 billion. Saved taxpayers $21 billion. And it's in the sight of unvetted billionaire, huge conflicts of interest, Musk, who wants to destroy it because it would oversee his new business venture. So with CFPB shuttered, seniors, veterans, student borrowers are going to be at risk of unfair financial service practices, including debanking, payday lending, and mortgage fraud. In fact, if you look at some of that mortgage fraud is changes with the Military Lending Act, where financial institutions taking advantage of the men and women who are serving our country. They counted on the CFPB to protect them. Nope, Trump and Musk, get rid of that. Forget saving money for taxpayers. We don't like these regulatory actions over banks and payday lenders and people like Elon Musk. So with CFPB shuttered, seniors, veterans, student borrowers are going to be at risk of unfair service practices on a regular basis, and it'll only let companies continue to rip off consumers and get away with fraud. So who will President Trump and Musk's next target be? Well, it looks like it's the Federal Aviation Administration, the FAA. The FAA works 24/7 to provide the safest flight experience across the country. And after the January 29th crash at Ronald Reagan National Airport, Americans are now more than ever concerned about having safe air travel. However, just days before that tragic crash, President Trump encouraged air traffic controllers to resign. We already have a shortage of air traffic controllers, and the president urged them to resign, knowing full well you just can't turn on the spigot and hire new controllers when you already have a shortage. It takes months, years to train air traffic controllers. And before that crash, President Trump says, no, resign, even though we have a shortage. He then tapped Elon Musk to lead the efforts to remake the FAA, despite his clear conflicts of interest. Musk leads the largest private space company, SpaceX, which is regulated. Oh, a theme here, which is regulated by the FAA. And just this fall, the FAA proposed $633,000 in fines to SpaceX. So I believe the last thing Americans need is President Trump allowing a self-interested, unvetted billionaire with massive conflicts of interest to do whatever he wants to destroy agencies that oversee his companies where he's making huge profits. Well, maybe they're going to go after the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration next. This agency is tasked with ensuring that all cars on our roads are safe and reliable. And Elon Musk, of course, is the CEO of Tesla and has criticized common sense safety requirements like reporting on crashes that involve his partially automated vehicles. If we continue to let President Trump and Musk unilaterally decide which agencies can function and even exist, our roads and skies are going to be more dangerous and more Americans will die. Or maybe President Trump will make good on his view to get rid of FEMA. Unfortunately, we've seen over the past 3 weeks of his presidency, he is again and again willing to peddle disinformation, overstep his authority, and break the law. Getting rid of FEMA would mean the federal government is abandoning Americans before, during, and after disasters like wildfires, tornadoes, hurricanes, and even floods. And while I'm sure everyone here would agree FEMA can and should be reformed, and I'll lead that charge to make sure that they better meet the needs of disaster survivors, it still plays a critical role. And American lives and helping communities rebuild after an increasingly common and more destructive natural disasters is something we should be focused on. Federal support and resources such as food, water, generators, urban search and rescue teams, and communication infrastructures can save lives in the aftermath of a disaster. FEMA also administers billions of dollars of mitigation grants to reduce the impact of natural hazards, which can save lives, protect property. So, Mr. Chairman, I hope that we can look at these other changes that we're seeing to see whether or not it's fraud or abuse, and whether or not that is something that we need to examine. So I would hope in future hearings we will take a look at an unvetted, highly conflicted person making these choices to understand what is behind their actions.
Senator Langford.
Thank you, Chairman Paul. Gentlemen, thanks for being here. Actually, yesterday I released my 8th report, what we call federal fumbles, where we regularly